Hello friends, it's Sarah. Welcome to another Dinkum build video. Today we are going to attempt to recreate Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, California. After the mini anniversary update came out and the new items for the red carpet and the velvet rope fencing, I immediately thought I've got to build some kind of a theater. And what better one to build than one of the most famous ones, especially since I've been there and I had a perfect reference photo to use. So I had started this project thinking that I had hit the screen record button and realized about 5 or 10 minutes in that I had not done that. A little technical difficulty on my end. So that's why this project looks like I've kind of started it before the video started. I was a dum-dum and did not push record, which is something I do regularly, and I have to go back and check and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm so glad I checked because almost none of this would have been recorded if I hadn't done that. So, lesson to all of you making videos, always make sure you're recording. So here I'm just getting the basic skeleton, kind of the general architectural layout of how I think this is supposed to look. By the way, I think in a previous build video, I said something about the maximum height you can build to in Dinkum was 13 tiles. It's actually 11. I counted them this time. It's a little frustrating to be limited to the height because this particular architectural structure has a pretty tall center, and to make that, to achieve that look, you got to be able to build up pretty high. And you can't really do that. So later on, you'll see us taking down some of the sides because we've got to make that middle part look a lot taller than we can build it up to be. So in a lot of my Dinkum builds, I typically build places I've been in real life or places that are familiar to me. And I usually will look at a picture as I'm building. So every time you see me pause and think, partially I'm thinking, partially I'm looking at the photo going, is this how I'm supposed to do this? Does this look right? So I find visual aids helpful when it comes to things like this. Some people, I marvel at their creativity and how they can just sit down and just without thinking or referencing something or drawing it out a little bit, can just sit down and build these amazing structures, and it's just fabulous. But I'm a special snowflake who needs to be able to look at a picture and copy it and reference something, especially something I've been to in real life, that has some sort of sentimental meaning to me or happy memories or a fun vacation, things like that. So Grauman's Chinese Theater was a place I visited in August of 2019. Me and my youngest daughter went out there to visit some family, and we did the typical quintessential touristy things. Went to Hollywood Boulevard and saw the theater and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We saw Griffith Observatory and the big Hollywood sign up in the hills, all the stuff that you do when you go to Los Angeles and you want to play tourist. It was a really fun experience, and my daughter got to hang out with her cousins, and she got to see a lot of really cool landmarks that day. I'm a big-time movie buff. I used to work in the video department of a local grocery store back in the 90s when VHS tapes were still a thing. I'm kind of dating myself there. So anything to do with Hollywood has always been a fascination for me. I love the movies. I've watched a lot of movies. I like anything to do with celebrities, gossip, all the things. So when the anniversary items came out and the velvet rope fencing and the red carpet, I was just like, yep, got to do some kind of a theater. So just experimenting with different elements to see what I can get, what I can make it look like with the items that we currently have in the game, trying to achieve that very Asian inspired look that Grauman's has. So I keep getting down on the ground after I place some things to get a perspective look and see how it's looking from the ground, because that's how that's how people are going to see it if they came and visited my island, or how I would photograph it. So yeah, that's why I keep getting down and taking a look back at what it looks like, if that's confusing in any way. So I recruited my best bud and Dinkum gameplay buddy, Susie Ann. She helped me build the luxury hotel, and I was like, hey, come help me figure out the architecture of this theater, because I'm getting it close, but there's still something not quite right. You're really good at the whole faux building things. Come give me your perspective. So she came over. She's kind of sitting there, not moving right now, because she's looking at the reference picture I sent her and is kind of considering, well, what can we do? And we're considering here to take everything down several squares to leave that middle section higher to achieve that height look, because this is the maximum height we can build to in the game currently, and we need to make it look taller than it actually is. So we're going to de-heighten. Is that a word? We're going to de-heighten the rest of it. Yeah, I'm just going to make it up. It's a word now. So that's what we're doing. We're taking everything down a block or two to make that middle section just look a lot taller. It looks like a mess now, but I promise. There's a method to the madness. As you're watching this build video, I would say go Google a picture of Grauman's Chinese Theater and have it in a different window, and kind of go back and forth and reference and see if we got close, if we're getting the look of the building. That was a miscommunication. I thought she said put the green brick in, and she was like, no, I meant the black cobblestone. So, words are hard. This build was considerably shorter than our hotel. I believe we started this and completed it within about 2.5 hours, which is short compared to the hotel. That took a couple of weeks of playing a couple hours a day. So this was nice. It was nice to start a project in one day and finish it the same day. It felt like we were getting something done, and I really like these smaller, shorter projects, because there's a sense of accomplishment when you get done. Like, wow, I really did something here. I keep trying to throw those columns in, those little marble pillars, and every place I put them just doesn't quite work. So it's back to the drawing board. And those creepy little stone, like, people statues that I was a little bit like, I don't know about these, are actually working very well, kind of as a faux, like, Academy Award statue. I know this is not where the Academy Awards are filmed or shot or anything like that, but it's all part of the same industry, so I figured, why not? It's about this time I think I started realizing that these were not the same height. So, I never said I could see very well either. So here we're experimenting, trying some things out, pulling some things back, trying to see which look we like better. Wow, check out that sunset, guys. The lighting in this game is just top notch. I used to be a professional photographer, and lighting is super important. And I have always been super impressed by the sky, the lighting, and the sunrise, the sunsets, all the lamp lighting in this game. it's just really pretty. You don't think about that when you're playing video games, like the mechanics of the lighting or some of the other little details, like quality of life things that you just maybe don't notice normally. But I guess being a photographer, for me, those are kind of important things. I'm always looking for the right light. And yeah, the lighting in this game is great. I don't know what kind of game engine James uses, but he rendered all that very, very well. I mean, just look in the background there where the little market area is, all the lighting. I feel like it looks like real life. I mean, in so much as it can in an animated game. I sped this build up a little bit faster than I have previous ones. I felt like the others were just a little slower than I would have liked, but this may be too fast, so let me know. I know a lot of people will do the YouTube playback speed and advance it. I've had several people say, well, I just watch all kinds of videos like this at a 1.5 times faster. That's great. If this is too fast, let me know. I'll slow it back down. I enjoyed this because it makes for a shorter video and a little bit more manageable when it comes to editing and voice recording and all the fun back-end things that content creators get to do. So if you've ever been to Grauman's Chinese Theater, this is the place where all the celebrities' hand and footprints and signatures are in the cement. And since we don't really have a tile in the game that represents that, I decided to use the little pattern stone tiles to kind of mimic the idea of those things visually. I know it's not exactly, obviously hand and footprints look vastly different than this pattern stone, but I needed something to give that sort of visual breakup. And this entire courtyard in front of the theater is full of spots with all kinds of celebrities' names signed into the concrete, their handprints, their footprints. Out front on the sidewalk are the stars, where celebrities, musicians, notable individuals have their name in a gold star. You got to get creative when there's not literal representations of the things you're wanting to create. So pattern stone it is for the hand and footprints. Y'all just use your imaginations. It'll be fun. It'll be, we're going to take a trip down imagination lane here. The theater just sort of opens up to the sidewalk from what I remember and what my picture showed. There are no barriers between it and the road, really. You just walk off the sidewalk straight into this courtyard area. But I was not visually, as I stand back and look at it, liking how open this is. And so I'm going to take some liberties here in a little while creatively to add some partitioning between what would be the road and the sidewalk outside the theater that wasn't there in real life. Here I'm putting up fencing. I don't like that, so I take it down. I like to see it Some people would say that's a waste of time, but I won't know if I like it until I see it out there. And that's why a lot of times I'll put something down and take it right back up going, yep, nope, that was a bad idea. Let's try something else. Now in the background, because I'm working on this front area, you might see Sunny back there if I tilt my camera just the right way. What is she working on? What is that? We had been discussing how kind of plain this is, just sort of stuck. How do we fill in the back without distracting from the theater itself? And do we plant trees? I mean, there's no trees there in Los Angeles, and I wanted it to look as somewhat realistic as possible, within reason as you can with, the limitations we have here. So she had the idea to build a faux alleyway and like building facade, make it look like apartments or other stores or something like that back there. So she is back there diligently building this faux building front, basically. And because, we're recording my screen and you see me running around like a chicken with its head cut off, you don't always get to see what Sunny's working on. So I'm going to try to do better in the future with future builds to take the time out to go and stand there with her or work with her. And that way you guys get to see what she's also doing, because she's contributing as much to this as I am. And I feel like, it doesn't always get showcased the way it needs to be. In front of the theater, if you've ever been, there are all kinds of little booths, little stalls that are selling souvenirs and tchotchkes and fake Oscar statues and all the things you would expect at any kind of tourist trap like Grauman's Chinese Theater. So I wanted to recreate that in the best way I could, putting out hats and items that sort of represented, souvenir type things. And I had the hardest time spelling this word, as you can see. I was like, that doesn't look right. Sunny, how do we spell it? And she was like, I think it's this. And I was like, well, we're going to go with it. And people can correct us in the comments, as they are usually want to do. Got some of the new items, the new Dinkum hat, the new Dinkum t-shirt, and the James Benden creator shirt, as well as Canzalone, another YouTube content creator who is, I think, the original Dinkum YouTube content creator. If you haven't already gone and given his channel a subscribe, you should run over there and do that. He's a great human being, a lot of fun to watch. In fact, he is, I think, the inspiration for me kind of starting my own channel. That, and along with the encouragement of my children saying, hey, Mom, you should do this. This would be fun for you. He makes it look effortless. I know it is not now. Not that I thought that before either, but he makes it look effortless. I know a tremendous amount of work goes into any kind of creator's channel. But yeah, he's the original Dinkum YouTuber in my mind. I feel like he did it from day one. I found him, I think, 2 or 3 days in and have been watching him ever since. So I was really glad to see his creator shirt in the game. A lot of fun. So go on over there and check him out. And while we're plugging things, if you guys haven't already, you should go to my YouTube channel homepage and click on the cover photo. And there will be linked my Discord channel and my Instagram account. So you can follow me on Instagram. You can come on over to Discord and keep up with things over there. We'd love to have you. It's a little quiet because there's not too many of us, but I'm sure that'll change over time. So yeah, come join the party. We'd love to have you. So here I'm just creating the road out front. We're going to pretend it's a road even though it's only 2 squares wide. My design aesthetic when it comes to these kinds of things is to be a little bit more clean and streamlined and less busy. I'm more of a philosophy as less is more sometimes. I know not, I see these amazing builds that people do and every single square inch of space is filled with something and it looks amazing. And I always feel like I can never pull that off. So I feel like a lot of my designs or a lot of the things I build are typically pretty simple. At least from my perspective, they're relatively simple and they're not overly filled in. I like the open spaces. It's not appealing to everyone, and they like to have things everywhere. And I think those who pull that off so well, they do an amazing job of it. They do tend to keep a more clean lines kind of look, but it is pretty blank in here. There's still a lot of open spots. So it's like, how do we fill those in? Oh yeah, more of the little market stalls and little kiosks of souvenir sellers. Here we are taking a look at Sunny's faux building facade. Just kind of giving you guys a look at what that's entailing. Just a little something to make it look a little more urban back there. We use that mud texture as an actual look. And we're like, yeah, I like it. I like that. It's different. And I hadn't ever thought to do that. So we left it. You gotta have dumpsters in an alley, right? So trash cans, recycling bins, bulletin board, all the things. We were talking and joking around, wouldn't it be fun to build the Hollywood Hills behind all this and have the Hollywood sign spelled out with the concrete letters? I was like, that's a little extra. But now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, maybe we should do that and put Griffith Observatory up there too. But that'll be perhaps a future project to work on for later. Instead, I put up the green road sign and was like, we're going to pretend like this is a billboard saying, "Welcome to Hollywood." I find filling this in, especially on such high speed, very satisfying. It's like a pressure washing something really dirty, and just the satisfaction you get from removing all the debris. I was attempting to put, I think, a ramp on top of the pillars because I really wanted to put one up there, but alas, it would not let me. So Sunny's putting on the stoops of the front of this building. It's really starting to come along. I think I'm getting really pleased vibes from how this is all pulling together. It was exactly how I'd hoped. Maybe it doesn't look exactly like the theater, but it definitely references it heavily, I feel like. Gotta let everybody know where we're at. Hollywood Boulevard. Adding in the glow buttons really just adds a little bit of extra lighting that's very soft and diffused. Again, you heard me talk about the lighting in this game. I feel like this is one of those ways that you can add some subtle light to your builds without adding actual lampposts or anything like that, especially if it's not really fitting the build style or the architectural style. Obviously, most of this was designed to look at it from the front, as you would be if you were walking down the sidewalk and not necessarily walking around the build. But it adds just enough lighting here and there. Got to put some stars out. I always forget about the Christmas stuff. And then I was like, that's perfect. It was about this time that I was really... Oh, here we go. Bubble break. I forgot about that. Yeah, it was about this time that I was really hoping for some floor lights, Animal Crossing floor lights. Any Animal Crossing players out there know what I'm talking about? Where you could slap those bad boys on the ground and make it look like the lights coming up from the floor. Or spotlights. Spotlights would be awesome. We need a bubble machine that I could just set out and let it blow bubbles. That'd be awesome too. Actually, if somebody could just create a mod to like copy the Animal Crossing items for the game, that'd be great. Can somebody do that? Well, I really appreciate that Sunny Ann came over to help me with this. It's always so much more fun when you build with somebody else. You get to chat and have fun and bounce ideas off of each other. And she really helped me pull this together and make it look exactly how I'd hoped. And any tourist trap, tourist destination, you gotta take some pictures. You gotta take some selfies. So we took a break to do that. And hello, YouTube thumbnail. Don't we look cute? Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. We had so much fun building it. I hope it looks like Grauman's Chinese Theater. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Thank you so much for being here, for watching and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for being here and supporting us and encouraging us as we do this. As always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and I will see you guys in the next one.